Are we back? I didn't mean to end the stream. Did not mean to do that. But we're back again. We're live again. So sorry. Did not mean to do that. But what's done is done. And what is done also is episode 35. So we're going to move on. That's right. Episode 36. Or no, not 36. We're going to go to episode 40.
Andy in Kansas, you're on the air. Thanks for holding.
Hello, Alex. I'm a first-time caller. I'm a huge fan. I love your work.
I love you.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Knowledge Fight. I'm Dan.
I'm Jordan.
A couple dudes who like to sit around, drink red wine, and discuss the ongoing saga that is the downfall
of America
through the lens.
Which lovingly coincides with the downfall of Alex Jones. And there are many parallels to draw.
There certainly are. You know, he believes that he's the archetype of a Texan. It's possible that he is the living embodiment of not only his childhood dog, Nonk,
right,
but also the Union, as it
and
were. I
don't know anything about Alex Jones.
We like to sit around and talk about Alex Jones. I know a lot. You know nothing. There we go. Before we...
Intro, committed.
Yeah, we're going to be able to just get it down to like a half a sentence. Kaboom, eventually. But
why would we do that? It's more fun to draw it out as long as humanly possible.
Certainly. I know it certainly hasn't heard our numbers yet. Speaking of our numbers, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to give a shout-out to our new donator, Chris M. What's up, buddy?
I'm a policy wonk.
Congratulations on becoming a policy wonk.
Hi, Chris. Welcome to the fold.
Yes.
We're going to need more of you very shortly.
We probably will. Hey, look, I'm glad anybody's donating. Fuck it. I don't give a shit.
Right.
This is great.
It is great.
So, we got to talk about the world, Jordan. We got to talk about what's going on in the world.
You know what I just keep thinking? What keeps going around and around in my brain is that white people would then allow people of color to participate.
Probably.
That's what's going on.
Yeah, probably.
That's really the root of all. White people voted for people so blatantly corrupt, so absolutely evil, that they are getting none of the benefits that they were promised and all of the fucking that they weren't.
Doesn't it kind of bring to mind
What's going on? We're having troubles. We're having internet troubles, maybe. I had a couple viewers, but then we had to turn the stream off, so I hope you're joining me now. We're listening to EP40 here.
the idea of like Manson's Helter Skelter idea?
Yeah.
Of like,
it really kind of does.
we're going to precipitate a race or class war and let everyone kill each other off, and then we'll hide out and remain.
Right, exactly. So, welcome, new policy wonks. We will be...
We'll be making the argument that Manson was right all along. We certainly will not be doing that. But
we will, however, be taking your donations and using them to build a compound that we put into the forest.
No.
All policy wonks are welcome to join us as we wait out the class war.
We're going to put it into a head in Easter Island. Any policy wonk that can get there is welcome. So, Jordan, since on yesterday's episode, but FBI Director Jim Comey got fired.
Yes. Yes, he did.
And it was within the specter of his growing Russia investigation.
Yep.
Just before he had gotten fired by clearly by Trump's orders.
Yep.
That also has come out. But just before that, he had requested resources to expand the investigation.
Oh, bad
which
idea.
Is a strong indication that they were really coming to it.
Couldn't think of any reason why.
So he gets fired, and the paper trail and the documents that come out in sessions, and his deputy
Technically recused from the
his
investigation.
deputy, not so much, but they had advised Trump to fire Jim Comey. But then it comes out that Trump had asked them to advise him to fire him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's all this circular nonsense.
Technically, they still did advise him to fire Comey.
Certainly.
That is technically a true statement, unlike multiple statements Jeff Sessions has made under oath.
Absolutely. It's boggling. But But the world is a fucked up place. It's not appropriate, I don't think, to come and the Saturday Night Massacre.
Is that because it's way worse?
I think even beyond it just being worse, the circumstances are super different. That was just a break-in. That was just them breaking into something.
This is technically a break-in, meaning the Russia broke into our political system and destroyed it.
But Nixon wasn't helping a foreign power break into the Watergate Hotel. He was doing that for purely selfish reasons and for self-advancement. Now, the people involved in Trump's team obviously have self-advancement that they are interested in.
Right.
But this is directly I am firing someone who is investigating me. And I want to be clear. Partisanship aside, I don't give a fuck. If Obama was under FBI investigation and he fired the FBI director, I would be just as blown away.
And of course, Republicans would be shitting themselves on the front lawn
They'd shut
of the
down
White
the government.
House. Yeah, it would be
That.
over. Yeah.
It's insane.
No, it's
So that
this is
sums
my
it up.
reaction to the world.
That sums it up.
I've got nothing.
So
I'm speechless.
I understand that you're speechless, but thankfully we have a man who is never speechless at our disposal. Is Alexander Emmerich Jones, who went on air today, and I gotta say, looked rough. He looked tired.
Hungover.
That was what I was getting at.
Yeah.
He might be hungover.
Yeah.
So he gets on the air, and this is how he starts out his broadcast.
He aligns himself with the truth, and it's time for you to choose a side. You're listening to Alex Jones.
To tell folks, even the general area where we get our information from concerning the White House, because the media has a big field day with it and then tries to shut off those sources.
That is a direct reference.
To Donald Trump's sons.
Yes, to him outing Cernovich's sources.
Yeah.
I hate to do it, even though I did it a week ago. Hey, look, Mike, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Cernovich. Anyway.
Even though the media blows it out of context.
But I was on the phone very, very late last night talking to multiple sources, and then I called Roger Stone about 11 Texas time, midnight his time. We talked for over an hour.
That's not good.
I think when he says he was on the phone with multiple sources, he's talking about the three wise men, Johnny, Jack, and Jim. You know what I'm talking about? He was on the phone with some whiskey. That's my guess.
I guarantee he had a very drunken phone call with Rogers. Roger,
baby.
is it coming down finally? Are we going down?
To quote Helter Skelter, is it coming down fast?
Roger, if
And
only
he
the
confirmed
Beach
a lot
Boys
of
had
what
let me join
I
them.
was
Only
learning
the
from other
Beach
sources. And, of course, Roger's one of the only people now that Trump still routinely talks to outside of the White House.
No!
Now, I don't know how much Roger will get into today, but I, from my other sources, separately have exactly what happened with Comey. Comey was compromised and had been compromised for a long time. And was being clearly manipulated by deep state sources to try to exert pressure onto the White House, to have the White House carry out the deep state's political aims with this whole fake Russia narrative that if they didn't basically do what John McCain and others wanted, they would continue on with hearings and try to impeach the president.
If that is what your source told you, your source is very nonspecific and happens to sound a lot like you, Alex Jones.
It's funny how all of his sources believe exactly what he has already told us.
I got it from a good source that Jim Comey has been compromised by globalists.
Yeah.
Great.
Good source.
Thank you.
He's got it from a reliable source.
Thank you, Alex.
He sounds like he doesn't even believe this bullshit.
And this is what I want to get to.
Yeah.
And I think it'll become clear as this goes along. But this is I sincerely believe this is the darkest moment of our politics in my lifetime.
Agreed.
In the 33 years that I've been alive, I've not seen anything close to this.
No.
And I think it's one of the most dangerous times.
That's cute.
And if we don't make the right moves, we could lose a lot of our democracy.
It's gone.
But that said, the way Alex Jones is responding to this means he knows they're fucked.
Okay.
He knows, I believe, that Comey getting fired is a nail in the coffin for most of the Russia people.
Yeah.
He knows that Roger Stone is going to prison. He knows that fucking Manafort is done. He knows Flynn is like days away from a grand jury.
Right.
He knows these things. And he's not stupid enough to think that, like, oh, yeah, getting rid of Comey is going to help that. And I think
you would have to be really stupid. You would have to be some kind of colossal moron to think it's a good idea to get rid of Comey at this point in time.
If you
would have to be some kind of absolute fucking idiot. You would have to be some kind of stupid person heretofore unseen by this planet.
If you think that that is a great idea, you probably are dumb enough to think that, like, there are globalists infiltrating everything.
Yeah.
So,
if you fire Comey, you might be the president.
You know what would be great? We should do a Foxworthy book. You might believe in the globalists. So, you know, he's going to get to the point where I think it's pretty clear, if you're looking at it objectively, he is not saying what he feels.
Mm-hmm.
He's reacting, and he's a panicked man.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Jones is scared. He is shook. He is shook as fuck. But he's going to flex a little bit. There's going to be some bravado, and we'll see that along the way.
Right.
So before we get to any of the real juiciness, he's got to explain to you what Jim Comey's real crimes were.
What are Jim Comey's real crimes?
You're going to find out.
Comey ignored crimes that were ultra-massive. And he
Not
followed
just
the orders of the Attorney General, who was so corrupt she would sit there and meet on airplanes with Bill Clinton on the tarmac while he was under criminal investigation by her agency, Loretta Lynch. That's one area. But it's also the fact that Comey is seen as weak and as very, very manipulative, but in a candy-ass way.
What a dumb
Lordy, Lordy, I didn't know. Well, my goodness, I had two doors I could go down. I had one door that was cover up, and I had other door that was getting involved in the politics, and Lordy.
So, you know, he's...
I hate it when people
That is
get
a pretty
involved
good
in the
Comey
politics of
impression.
Lordy.
Look who's not 43. Alex Jones, you're lying about your age. But also...
His most important lie to date.
Yeah, certainly.
The one we are truly here to fight.
Realistically, I think he's probably about 50. And if that's the case, then super male vitality works even better.
Wow.
Alex, you should come out and tell your real age.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if
we should have an age counter on the website that just chronicles how old Alex Jones
he's
is.
43, he looks like shit, and his supplements are not working. Anyway, that's beside the point. He claims that Comey's real
sounds
crime...
like something that we would spend like 20 minutes on. How old do you think he is? I would go 47 myself.
Probably. Early 40s, no fucking way.
No fucking way.
When I realized that, like, if he's 43, that's 10 years away from where I'm at, no. No way. Not a chance. And I've lived hard.
Better start taking that super male vitality.
Prostagard on sale now. Liver cleanse. Anyway, so, you know...
Potassium cyanide.
Sure.
For the discerning Alex Jones listener.
So he gets into the comb is that he let Loretta Lynch off and didn't prosecute her, which I'm not sure.
There was nothing to prosecute.
Not
She
really.
wasn't. He said she was under investigation.
No. She met with Bill Clinton when he was under investigation. He wasn't. The foundation was.
Yeah, Bill was never under investigation.
And he wasn't under investigation by the Department of Justice.
Right.
There were things that were being looked into by the FBI.
Right.
With the Clinton Foundation, but that wasn't the DOJ.
Well, I mean, we all know there's a separation between those two. We know they're independent.
Well, this was like 6 months ago, so there was back then.
That's true.
That's So then his real crimes.
What's his real crimes?
He's weird.
He's very manipulative, but in like a candy ass way.
He's a
I don't
pussy.
I don't understand what
He's a cuck. He's a globalist. He's
exactly.
a pussy. That's insane. That's
compromised. Deep state sources.
But like, legitimately, that I'm not cutting out like any real substance. This is the kind of thing he's pointing the finger at. He's like, everyone knows he was
He's a pussy.
He's a pussy.
You can't have
Comey,
you can't
get
have
out of there. You're a pussy.
FBI director who's a pussy.
No, and Alex Jones. I mean, he's a guy who's not going to put up with pussiness. And this is this next clip is actually where he gives what I would describe as the first time he tries to incite violence on this episode.
Are we going to keep a counter?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And so there's major power jockeying. I've told the president this myself in person, and I've said it here on the broadcast 100 times at least, and I'm going to say it again when we come back and Roger Stone joins us.
I'm going to say it again.
We're not looking for trouble. We're not looking for revolution. We're not looking for bloodbaths. The globalists and their leftist hordes and their refugees are here to destabilize the West.
Shit.
And they're trying to push a narrative of violence and overthrow and kill the police and war in the streets and all this garbage. And we are involved in dereliction of duty if we don't do something about it.
So it's not quite like out and out violence as it will be later.
It's Trump saying like, well, you Second Amendment people, you should probably do something about this.
Sure, there is a thing that's going to hit different ears differently, but even beyond that, it is sort of a call to political violence. It's a call to, and that seems to be one of his main themes is like, Trump, you better fucking lock it down now.
Right.
Which is kind of a good point.
It is a good point.
If you're just trying to like, war games how to start an authoritarian regime, you got to lock it down now.
Oh God, if he had any terrorist attack, it is all over.
Oh, sure.
I mean, frankly, I think at this point,
there was a kind of big
like,
one yesterday over in. I mean, wasn't in America or the West.
Nobody's paying attention to
Yeah.
anything right now.
Yeah.
No, imagine even better. A Black Lives Matter protest turns violent.
Sure.
National Guard.
I think that one more delicate way to put it would be like what we were talking about earlier with the idea that this is the most complicated and dangerous period of our lives politically.
Absolutely.
And in order for us to avoid revolt, or to avoid a revolution, to avoid a civil war, it's like threading a needle. There's going to be really precise things that need to be done, or we're going to